Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to our ranking member. Mr. Jackson, just briefly, thank you so much for being here, and I followed the work of the office prior to the betrayal of this administration and shutting it down. What I thought was so interesting about the office is that the initiating group that brought the Office of Violence Prevention together, is this correct, was faith leaders from all over the country. Thank you. Thank you, and thank you for your work. My next question is from my Bay Area brother. You're in the Sunset. My mama lives in the Sunset, and I believe I know where your coffee shop is, and just really thank you for traveling. It is a long flight. I take it every week, and we're just honored and happy to have you here. Just a couple of questions that may seem a little off topic, but I believe that they'll come together. Do your employees, sir, at the coffee shop have health insurance?
Yes.
And are you aware that the proposed cuts to the Affordable Care Act and small business tax credits would make it harder for small business owners like yourself to provide health coverage to your employees?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. You also told the Chronicle, and I read the article, and I agree with you. I read the article about 5 times in the last couple of days since I knew that you were coming out of deep respect. I agree with everything that you said in that article. But I want to be clear that I think it's going to get worse while you have a mayor. And in fact, Mr. Lurie is actually not a businessman. He led the Tipping Point Foundation, and I was on his board for 8 years and really loved the work that they were doing at Tipping Point to combat poverty and some of these root causes. And I agree with your assessment that his being on the streets every day, working with small businesses, asking the questions about root causes, it works. So I'm really excited that you're in communication with the administration. But this administration is cutting $1.7 billion from mental health services that go into states, then counties, and in cities. And in fact, he's fired half of the mental health staff from SAMHSA, which is just shocking. So my question is simple. How do we solve the mental health crises that you clearly and beautifully articulated in your Chronicle article? Mental health crises that are driving small crime, which feels like big crime if you're running a small business in our communities. When this administration is defunding mental health in real time. If you think it was bad last year, can you imagine counties like San Francisco, way to Louisiana, Denver, you name it, they're going to see their mental health grants slashed. How do we support small businesses while stripping away your ability to, one, keep your employees safe, insured, and the folks who are causing the issues outside of your business, they will receive a deeper cut to the small services that they already receive in their struggle for mental health? Would love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, my thought is, Congressman mentioned that California is the 4th largest economy in the world. We are a big company. We are a big country.
Absolutely.
We can figure it out, and I think California should be able to solve for that. One example would we could stop funding the train to nowhere that we've been spending $5 million per mile to build. That hasn't been built for 10 years. So that would be one example that I would give.
Thank you so much. And I would, with my just brief time left, want to bring it home that we have a federal government that has been explicit about defunding mental health services that reach our cities in real time. So in San Francisco, in Oakland, where I represent, should a police officer take a mentally ill person into custody, we know now that there are so few beds. And with the cuts to mental health that are coming in real time, there will be fewer beds and fewer services. Now, train and infrastructures, those are very different parts of our federal and local budgets. But health and human services, when those real cuts hit our streets, I would hope that this committee, we find it in our hearts to figure out how to push SBA, push other parts of our federal government to fund real opportunities for our small business owners to keep their storefronts safe, to provide opportunities for our local and regional and state and federal law enforcement officers to actually have places to send folks in their midst of crisis. And again, I want to thank you for being here, and I appreciate your advocacy. Thank you so much, and I'll yield back.
Gentlelady yields